Hey everybody, welcome in. It is the Wednesday edition of the Doug Russell Television Show right here on sportsradio1250.com. Had a couple of things that we were talking about on the radio program this morning, including Brett Favre and the fact that he's going to be speaking with Vikings coach Brad Childress coming up later on this week. Now, the question that I have for Brett Favre, and Brad Childress for that matter, is does Brett have anything left, or if he comes back at this point, is he just going to be worthless? Or does Brett have something left to prove to Ted Thompson, to Packers fans who wrote him off, to the NFL, to those that said that Brett is absolutely done? The question that I have for Packers fans, though, is do you care if Brett goes to play for the Minnesota Vikings, or do you just want Brett to go away? Also, we talked about the Brewers' big win over the Pirates last night in Pittsburgh. Milwaukee has now taken 17 straight from the Bucks. And I tell you what, after not being able to win at PNC Park through the first part of this decade, it is nice to actually own a team. And the Brewers certainly do that of the Pittsburgh Pirates, in part last night because
Soup pitched great.
Well, he didn't pitch great, but he pitched well enough. 1 out shy of what they call a quality start, and the Brewers are tied with the Major League lead, ironically enough, with Pittsburgh in that category. Quality starts from starting pitching, which is something that I think is critical for the Brewers, considering how everybody was concerned about their starting pitching at the beginning of the season without Ben Sheets in the first half or CC Sabathia in the second half. The pitching's been pretty good so far this year, and the Brewers have won 12 out of their last 16. Now they've got a tough stretch after the Cincinnati series. They've got the Cubs coming into Miller Park. They've also got a series at St. Louis, and some tougher teams are coming up on their schedule. The Florida Marlins, still a very talented, young but talented team. They're on the upcoming schedule as well. Also, we talked about Selena Roberts. Her new book about Alex Rodriguez has hit newsstands, and she's been getting the brunt of the backlash as far as certain players around Major League Baseball and certain executives around the game and other writers as well. Jason Whitlock has said very loudly and very publicly that he does not believe Selena Roberts, in part based on the way that she handled the Duke Lacrosse rape case a couple of years ago. You'll remember when the Duke Lacrosse team, 3 members of that team, were accused of sexually assaulting a stripper at one of their parties. When the evidence started to unravel and this entire case didn't pass the smell test, there were really only 2 entities, 2 people that continued on saying that the Duke players, the Duke Lacrosse players, were probably guilty. One was the prosecutor in the case, Mike Nifong, in part because he was up for re-election. He has since been disbarred, and he spent a day in jail for malicious prosecution. And Selena Roberts. It seemed as though she had an agenda to take down the Duke Lacrosse team because of what she called their sense of entitlement. That wasn't what this was about. That's not what the whole case was about. It wasn't about a sense of entitlement. It was about whether or not a crime had been committed. There are too many unnamed sources for my tastes in her new book, and I take it all with a grain of salt. Do I know that Alex Rodriguez took steroids in high school? No. But my point is, neither does she. She thinks she does, but she doesn't. That'll do it for this edition of the Doug Russell Television Show right here on sportsradio1250.com. Join us tomorrow morning. The Hitman, Chuck Cecil, will join us on the program starting at 5 o'clock right here on sportsradio1250.com and on Sports Radio 1250 WSSB.
Doug Russell Show. Doug Russell Show.